need to rest, the stretch whenever you need to, adapting the movement to what works best for you. So starting off, if you're lying down on the back and finding a comfortable position. If I'm seated up, trying to find a good comfortable position that allows me to breathe properly. So see if I can try and keep the chest and the upper body well lifted, allowing the belly to move, allowing the diaphragm to expand the belly with the breath. And then just noticing how the body feels, the same as usual, noticing any stiffness, any point of tension, any difference between one side and the other. One shoulder feels higher. I can feel more pressure at the back of one hip. If I feel that my head is slightly off to one side, I'm not changing anything, just noticing where the body is and how the body feels. Once that you feel that the body is a little bit more settled, the breath feels a little bit more relaxed. So I can feel that the belly's moving with the breath, that the chest is staying relaxed, that the throat is staying relaxed, that the jaw is staying relaxed. I'm going to start working from the thoracic spine. I'm going to start protracting the shoulders. I'm going to pull the shoulders forward. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to try and pull the shoulders up to the ceiling. If I'm sitting up, I'm going to pull the shoulders together to the front of the room. Then retracting, I'm going to push them back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. See if I can try and create a nice opening across the front of the chest. So protracting, pushing them forward, and then retracting, drawing them back. So see if you can picture the shoulder blades moving, sliding in and out around the back of the ribcage. So I can feel them moving together as I retract the shoulders, and then I can feel them pulling apart as I protract them. And then if I start encouraging a little bit more movement and exaggerating the movement, then I can also feel the upper back moving, extending as I retract, so the back arching, the chest lifting, and then flexing as I protract. Easier in flexion if I'm seated up because I've got more space to travel. A little bit more restricted if you're lying down, as obviously you can't push the ribcage through the floor, but I can still find a little movement going through. So, there we go. So keeping that movement going, so if I can maintain that nice, loose movement through the shoulder girdle. 3, and then retracting. 2, and back. Last time, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little jiggle, releasing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. I'm going to try and change the direction of the movement. This time, instead of protracting, retracting, I'm going to elevate a deep press. So shrugging the shoulders up to the head, up to your ears, and then depressing, pressing them down and away. So I'm going to elevate them, shrug them up to the head, and then depress, press them down and away. So maintaining that movement going up and down. See if you can picture the shoulder blades at this time. Traveling up and down the back of the rib cage to see if I can try and create as much movement as possible, as if I was trying to pull them down into my back pockets, into the back pockets of the trousers, and then lifting them back up towards the head, towards your ears. So shrugging and then pressing down, lengthening through the neck. We're going to try 4 more. 3, 2, last time, and releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll again, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. I'm going to start creating a little bit more movement, but this time getting the shoulder a little bit more involved. So I'm going to start moving the arms, raising one arm up to the front. I'm going to reach it back as far back as I feel comfortable going. And then easing the arm back. I'm going to try the same thing with the other arm, with the other side. It doesn't matter if I can only lift the arm a little. Just to see if you can find the movement that works for the shoulder. As the arm is moving, notice the shoulders, making sure that I'm not stiffening and tensing. I'm trying to stay relaxed. So the shoulders are down, the neck is long and loose. I'm going to raise, and then I'm going to lower. I'm going to raise and lower. So if I'm seated up, the arm is going to be a little bit heavier. If I'm lying down, the arm should be feeling a lot lighter, a lot easier to move. Making sure that the movement is not causing you pain. 4, 3, 2, last one, and release it back. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So this time, instead of going up to the front, I'm going to swing the arm round the side and then bring it up and towards the ceiling. And taking that arm back, scooping the other arm, I'm going to lift out and up. Easing back and then round the side and up. So if you lying down, imagine to be making a little snow angel with one arm at a time. If I'm sitting up, we'll see if I can create that loose movement, the right and left side, relaxing the neck, making sure that again the neck is not stiffening, the shoulder is not clicking, it's not catching, it's not creating pain and discomfort. So maintaining that movement going from one side to the other. One second, let me just write the message to Christina. Ignore the message. This is just for Christine. Oh, back to front. Last time. Returning the arm down by the side, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, and then we're going to start to working through the upper back a little bit more. Raising both arms up to the front, clasping the hands together or keeping the hands apart. I'm going to start to swing the arms over to one side. So I'm going to rotate to one side as far as I can, coming back and then rotating the other way. If I'm seated, see if I can be aware of the shoulders keeping down. So making sure that the shoulders are not shrugging and stiffening. I'm trying to keep a nice long neck, a nice straight back. Turning one side, turning the other. If you're lying down on the back, then see if I can gently roll it from one shoulder to the other, from one side over to the other. It's a little rotation. I can feel a little restriction when I turn to the left. I feel quite easy when I go to the right, or vice versa. If that's the case, see if you can pay more attention to the restricted side. 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. It's again a little bit more movement into the upper back. I want a little bit more movement down into the lower back. If you're lying down on the back, I'm going to start going into a little posterior tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, pressing the lower back down into the mat, the tailbone curls up, and then I'm going to go back into neutral. So tilting, and then releasing the tilt. If you're sitting up, I'm going to do the same thing from my chair position. So see if you can think of the lower back. I'm going to try and round it, and then I'm going to try and lift it. So rocking back onto your tailbone first, and then see if you can try and lift up onto the sequence. Then again, rocking back onto the tailbone, and then lifting up onto the seat bones. Just trying to mobilize it down into that lumbar spine. So you can think of a nice tension at the front of the belly to help you support that movement. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. So a little bit more movement down at the bottom of the spine. I'm going to try and see if I can change the direction of the movement. I'm going to go back into rotation. So this time, if I'm seated up, I'm going to try and shuffle the legs and nice and close together. And then I'm going to push both legs over to one side to see if I can turn the hips one way, then easing back, and then pushing the legs the other way. I'm going to turn the hips to the other side. So just a little side to side movement and trying to, again, mobilize the lumbar spine a little bit more. If I'm down on the back, doing the same from your lying position, I'm just going to let the legs rotate to one side, the hips are turned to, and then let the legs rotate to the other way, let the hips are turned to the other side. See if you can try and keep the legs nice and close together as you're moving from right to left and from left to right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back. Relaxing the legs and releasing the hips. It's a little bit more movement into the back. I'm going to start focusing on the legs a little bit more. One leg at a time. I'm going to focus on my right leg. Same as usual. If I know that it's a bit temperamental, I'm just going to use something behind that leg. So I'm just going to put the band, the towel, strap, anything to give the leg a little support. And then through there, I'm going to start flexing that right hip. So I'm going to try and lift the right leg up, and then I'm just going to pop it back down again. I'm going to lift it up, and then pop it back down again. So see if I can think of the movement coming from the hip socket. It could be a very little movement, it could be a very big movement. It doesn't matter, just making sure that you can feel that the leg is moving into the hip socket. I can feel the front of the hip closing to pull the leg up, and then opening to release it back down. If I'm sitting on the chair, I might even use the hands to help me. So I'm just going to try and pull up on the leg, then easing the leg back down, pull up on the leg, and then easing the leg back down. So mobilizing the hip joint to see if I can warm up into the joint, easing the tension, easing the stiffness from the joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing the leg, relaxing the hip, allowing the right hip with the right leg to relax. I'm going to do the same thing with the left side. It's exactly the same if I'm lying down, if I'm seated up, or see if I can think of the movement coming from the hip joint. So see if I can allow the hip to close as the leg comes up, and then open as it drops down. See if I can try and loosen up the hip, loosen up the movement, moving up and down. I'm just making sure that I'm not swinging the all of the body, I'm not dropping down. It's just a little movement. It doesn't matter if I can't lift it very high, just making sure that you feel it in the hip joint. Same as if you're lying down with the strap behind the leg to offer a little support, and then easing back down. So controlling up and then controlling down. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. There's a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So going back to the right leg, going back to the first side. This time I'm going to start going into a little knee drop. So keeping the legs nice and close together, I'm going to start opening the right knee out to the right. So I'm going to open it to the side. I'm going to close it back to the center, and then I'm going to open it to the right again. It's the same as before. If I feel that the leg is quite stiff or it doesn't move very well, then I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to push out with one hand and then push in with the other. So again, see if I can try and loosen up the hip joint, but this time with a little lateral movement. So I'm going to push it and then pull it back, push it out and then pull it back in again. If you're lying down, same as if you're seated, the leg is opening to the side, the inner thigh is working to control it, and then squeezing back. The pelvis is level, so I'm not twisting the back. The back is in neutral, the hips are down, both sides of the bum sits on the floor, they don't lift away. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. We're going to try exactly the same thing with the other side, with the other leg. So same starting position, feet and knees nice and close together. The right leg extends away or stays bent, whichever way suits you better. I'm going to start opening that left leg out to the left. And then closing back to center, opening out again. Closing back to center, and then opening again. It's the same as I did before. If I feel that the leg is a bit stiff, it's a bit temperamental, then I'm going to try and use the arm. With one arm I'm going to push out, and then I'm going to pull back in again. Pushing out, and then back in again. So getting that little extra movement again into this hip, into this side. See if I can try and relax it through as much as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. There's a little bit more movement onto that side too. I'm going to start combining the different directions. So we're going to start going into little circles now. So same as before, especially if you're lying down, if you need to put the strap around the leg, putting the strap around the right leg. Sitting up, I can use the hands, or again, if I want, I can always use the strap to help me. And then this time, I'm not going to go up or down, left and right. I'm going to try and go round with the leg as much as I can. So see if I can try and loosen up through the hip joint, drawing little circles with the legs. It doesn't matter if it's not a precise circle, just to see if you can keep it loose, to see if you can keep it relaxed as it goes round. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reversing the circle, going the other way for 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. Same thing with the left side. So picking up the left leg, using the strap around the back of the leg if you need to. And then we're going to start going around with that leg. So little circles, little movement. See if I can again try to loosen up into the hip as much as possible. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reversing the circle, going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg just a little bit more. Movement into the hip joint. We're going to go back into the shoulders. We're going to go back into the upper body. I'm going to cross the arms onto the chest, allowing the arms to relax at first. And then keeping the back nice and straight. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And then as I breathe out, with the right arm, I'm going to reach forward towards the ceiling. With the left shoulder, I'm going to push back and into the ground. Then I'm going to ease back. I'm going to reach that left arm forward and then push the shoulder back. So if you're seated up, see if you can try and exaggerate the movement. So see if I can try and create a nice rotation from side to side. If I'm lying down, as the movement is limited by the floor behind me, see if I can try and rock from one side over to the other. So as if I was trying to roll over my left shoulder, picking up the right, rolling over the right shoulder, picking up the left side. So exaggerating the movement, exaggerating the lift. See if I can try and touch the ceiling with my right hand and then touching it with the left. Touching it with the right, touching it with the left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders. I'm going to reverse the movement. This time, instead of crossing, I'm going to open. So if you're lying down, raising both arms up and towards the ceiling. If you're sitting up, reaching the arms straight ahead of you. I'm going to start opening the right arm out to the right, as far to the right as I can. See if I can open up across the front of the chest. Then come back to the middle, and then I'm going to open up with the left as far as I can. Keeping that movement going, so if you can picture a nice stretch, a nice active stretch going across the front of the chest. So I'm going to open with the right, come back, little rest if I need, and then opening with the left, and then come back and release. As you feel that the movement starts feeling a little bit easier, a little bit looser, see if you can play with the position of the hand. So if I keep my palm turned to face down and I open to the side, the movement feels odd, it feels quite restricted. If I turn my palm to face up when I open to the side, the movement feels a lot easier, a lot smoother. So see if I can try and play with the different arm positions. So what happens if I turn the palm down? What happens if I turn the palm forward? What happens if I turn the palm up? So noticing how the arm, just a slightly, the top of the arm slightly changes into the shoulder socket and might allow you into a bigger movement, into a bigger reach, into a better position for the shoulder. 4, 3, 2, last one, and release it back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulders, the front of the chest, and then I'm going to try and repeat a similar pattern with the legs. So first thing, I want a nice attention, side of the hips and inner thighs together. So this time, instead of moving one leg at the time, I'm going to move both legs. So I'm going to push both legs out to the side, allowing the knees to open out and apart, and then I'm going to squeeze them back together. I'm going to open them out and then squeeze them back together. Same as you did before. If you feel that the hip is quite stiff, or I feel that the leg is a bit temperamental, so it doesn't do what I want it to do, then I'm just going to use my hands. I'm going to push the legs out to open the knees, and then I'm going to try and squeeze them back together again. Pushing them out, opening the knees, and then squeezing them back together. So see if you can find that connection between the inner thigh, trying to help you squeeze the legs in, and then the side of the hips, trying to pull the legs out. Closing back, and then opening again. Especially if you're lying down, making sure that you're not opening the legs so far that you can feel that the hip is catching. So there is no pain or discomfort into the hip, no pain or discomfort into the groin. 5, squeeze it back. 4, squeeze it back. 3, squeeze it back. 2. On the last one, we're going to open out, hold the legs there. Now reaching the hands on the inside of the legs. I'm going to put a little pressure with the hands, trying to hold the legs apart. And then with the legs, I'm going to try and close in. So see if you can think of a little tension. The legs are trying to squeeze back in, the hands are holding them. So I'm going to hold on to the tension. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that tension. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, keep pushing with the hands, but relax the legs. And see if you can push them a little bit further apart. Holding them there. We're going to try one more time. So I'm going to push out with the hands and then push in with the legs. Holding that tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop resisting with the legs. If you push it with the arms, if the legs want to open up a little bit further. And then release and back. Returning the legs back to the middle, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake. And then I'm going to work it to the side of the hip, into the side of the hip. And so with if you're lying down, extending your left leg away, keeping the right knee bent. I'm going to keep the foot down or lift the foot up, and then see if you can bring that right knee across to that left side of the mat. If I'm seated up, I'm just going to grab hold of the opposite leg with my hand, and then I'm going to push both legs to the side. Then I'm going to ease back, and then I'm going to push them to the side again. Ease back, and then push them to the side again. So see if I can create a gentle traction, a gentle tension, a stretch that comes down the side of the hip into the side of the leg. If you're seated up, or see if you can notice also a nice gentle rotation going through the back. If you're lying down and you want to make it a little bit deeper, then with the opposite hand, I'm just going to reach across to the leg, and then I'm just going to give the leg a little pull, and then I'm just going to come back, ease back, and then the leg a little pull, and then come back, ease back. 2 more times. So pulling across, to see if I can find a gentle stretch. Ease back. Last time. I'm going to pull across, so hold it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Relaxing the legs, releasing the hips. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to bring the left leg up, keeping the foot down, supporting it with the hands, and then I'm just going to start going for a little cross and open back. If I'm seated up, same as I did on the other side, with the opposite hand, I'm going to reach across. I'm going to try and pull the legs to the side, see if I can turn the other way, and then I'm going to ease back. And then again, pull the legs the other side, turn the other way, and then easing back again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, hold in the stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the hips and releasing the legs, just a little bit more stretches through the side of the hip or two. I'm going to try and see if I can work a little bit front to back. So this time I'm going to circle the feet to about the hips width apart. The knees are bent, the feet are flat on the floor. If you're lying down on the back, I'm going to try and see if I can get the bum going. So squeezing with the back of the bum, I'm going to try and clench both of bum cheeks, and then I'm going to relax. Then I'm going to clench and release, clench and release. So see if I can squeeze them together, let them relax, squeeze them together, let them relax. So if I'm seated up, I should be able to feel myself kind of like slightly bouncing up and down. If I'm lying down, I should just about to feel the hips are tensing and then letting go, tensing and then letting go, tensing and then letting go. Once that you feel that you've got that tension, so I can feel that I'm clenching, I can feel the bum is working right and left to side, then see if you can encourage a little bit more. So if I'm lying down, I'm going to squeeze my bum cheeks together, and then I'm going to try and drive the hips up and away from the ground. A little lift, a big lift, it doesn't matter. Then I'm going to ease my way down. If I'm seated up, imagine to be wanting to lift off the chair. So I'm going to clench my bum cheeks, and then I'm going to try and push myself up. Then ease back, clench, and push myself up. So it doesn't matter if I'm not actually lifting off the chair, but imagine to be going towards that lift. So I want to stand off, I want to lift off. Even using the arms by the side, you know, if you've got the handle on the side of the chair or bottom of the chair, see if I can give myself a little push to encourage that lift, to encourage that direction. Even the hands at the front of the thighs to give a little support as I'm leaning forward to try and stand up or to try and come up. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, and giving the hips a little shake, relaxing the legs, releasing the back of the leg, making sure that it doesn't feel too stiff or too tight. And then I'm just going to try and loosen up into the hip, especially down the back of the hip into the back of the leg. So I'm going to reach the band or reach my hands around the back of the right leg. So using the band behind the thigh, or using the hands behind the thigh. If you're lying down on the back, extending the left leg away along the floor, and then try to hug the right leg as close to the chest as possible. If I'm seated up, I'm going to keep my other leg down, and then hooking the hands behind that leg. I'm going to try and lift it as high up as I can. So see if I can really try to pull it up towards the chest. So I'm going to try and lift it up as much as possible. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then releasing. Same thing to the other side. So right leg extended. If I'm lying down, I'm going to hook that hand behind the left thigh, and then see how close I can get that left leg up and towards the chest. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Releasing the hip, releasing the leg, and then I'm going to try and take the stretch longer, make it longer, taking it down into the back of the knee. So this time, instead of just trying to pull at the top of the leg towards the chest, I'm going to try and pull the all of the leg. So setting the band, towel strap around the right foot. I'm going to straighten up the leg, and then same as I did for the thigh, I'm just going to pull the leg towards me until I can feel the stretch down the back of the leg. Same as usual, if I find that I can't get the band around with the foot, it's just like it won't lift, it won't go there, I'm just going to try and straighten up the leg slightly in front of me, and then leaning forward from the hips or from the upper body. See if I can create a gentle traction down the back of the leg into the hamstrings. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing that leg. I'm going to repeat the same thing to the left side. So straightening up the leg, leaning forward if I need to, or putting the band around that left foot, extending the leg as much as I can, and then pulling it up and towards me until I can feel the stretch coming down the back of the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the legs, so releasing the hips. So a little bit more length down the back of the leg. You see if I can make sure that there is no tension left into shoulders and into the neck. So I'm going to start reaching down with my right arm. I'm going to pull the right arm as far down as I can. And then with that left ear, I'm just going to pull away. See if I can get nice and close to that left shoulder. So feeling that stretch coming down the side of the neck, reaching over the top of the shoulder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing the head back, reaching down with the left arm, dropping the right ear down to the right shoulder. See if I can encourage a little bit more stretch down the other side of the neck. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle, giving the shoulders a little roll, turning the head from one side to the other. Noticing if the neck still feels stiff or feels a little bit loose or a little bit easier to move. And then when you're ready, bring the head back to the middle. Rolling over onto one side if you're lying down. And in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting. So finding your comfortable seated position. Giving yourself a little support to behind, by the side, or at the front if I need to. And then once that you feel that you're there, see if you can encourage a nice lift at the front of the body. So I want the front of the body to grow as long as possible. So I'm going to try and lift up from the top of the chest. I'm going to look forward, look up, look back, and feel that nice stretch dropping from your throat, down the breast, going all the way into the belly. Then I'm going to release. I'm going to let myself come forward, as far forward as I feel comfortable with the back. Rounding the upper, rounding the lower back, and dropping as far down as I feel in control. And then back in reverse. I'm turning all the way back up, lifting the head, extending through the upper back, looking up, looking back, extending through. And then release it back, letting the chin drop, the shoulders come forward, rolling down and towards the ground. And then I'm curling all the way back, extending your way up. Lifting through the chest, extending through the back. And releasing back. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a clap on that. Any question or anything, please say. Remember, you have to unmute yourself